Welcome to Make Your Mark, the podcast where we talk about real weight loss journeys, the ups, the downs, and everything in between. I'm Mark Fearon, and after 16 years, 10 stone, and a lot of lessons, I finally made my mark. This podcast is all about real people sharing their stories. No filters, no gimmicks, just honesty. Whether you're using medication, hitting the gym, counting calories, or just trying to figure it all out, you are in the right place. Welcome to episode 1 of Make Your Mark. In this episode, I'm going to start by sharing a bit about my own story, why it took me 16 years to finally reach my goal of losing 10 stone, and what my plan is now that I've gotten there. I'm also going to be chatting about an article which I came across in Newsweek featuring a New York restaurant owner who spoke about GLP-1 medications and the way that they're changing the restaurant industry. It's a really interesting perspective. Then I'm going to be joined by Freya, who is currently on her own Mounjaro journey, to talk about what it's like to be right in the middle of that process. And then finally, I'll be diving into a video I saw on Instagram about how exercise actually affects the calories we burn, and I think it might surprise you. So lots to get into today. Let's get started. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Mark Fearon. I'm 47 and I live in Dublin. I have been trying to lose weight since 2009. I auditioned for a TV show called Operation Transformation here on RTE. And that, I suppose, was the first time I was kind of made aware that my weight was going to reduce my life expectancy. I was weighing 27 stone and 4 pounds. I was not in a good place at all. And that was a kind of a big wake-up call. And I was part of the TV show then coming into 2010, and, I went great. I lost weight. At that stage, I'd set myself a target of losing 10 stone. So to reach 17 stone, 4 pounds. That was November 2009, 16 years ago. And only 3 weeks ago did I reach that point. So it's been a 16-year journey for me to get here. So I won't go through the 16 years now. We haven't enough time. But I have been up and down my weight ever since then. I've been documenting a lot of this journey on my Facebook page, then Instagram, and most recently TikTok. I have had great success in losing weight. I've tried lots of different ways. But no matter what I did, I never got to my target. I lost kind of 7 stone a couple of times. And then for whatever reason, I said, I would just end up going back to the way I used to eat, and I would put the weight back on. I never got quite back up to 27 stone, 4 pounds. I got up to just under 27 stone. So basically back up to where I was. I got my weight down kind of to a lower level for the past couple of years, but I was still kind of floating kind of at around 23, 24 stone, and I'd go up a little bit, down a little bit. And it was only 6 months ago that, after having heard people to talk about Mounjaro, I was like, hold on, this stuff sounds pretty good. When I heard about it first, I was like, no, I'm not touching that. I'm not sure why I thought that, but I just went, no, I'm not going to use medication. But I suppose the more I learned about it, I saw people's success with it, I went, I'm going to give this a go. And within one day, I was like, oh my God, this medication is something I have been needing my entire life. It's hard to explain how quickly I realized that I was going to be successful in getting my weight down. Like, even after a day, I went, the thoughts of food have gone. I can eat well and not in the back of my mind going, eat well and then reward yourself. That's what I did. I would eat well Monday to Friday, or Monday to kind of Friday lunchtime, and then from Friday lunchtime until Sunday night, I would just blow any good work I'd done during the week. And that was the cycle I was in pretty much the whole 16 years. Mounjaro changed that. I suddenly could have a square of chocolate and not need the entire bar or a second bar, or one bar of chocolate wouldn't then derail my entire day, kind of going, oh, I've had one bar of chocolate, then, well, there's no point eating well. Tonight, I might as well get a takeaway. And sure, if I'm getting a takeaway, I might as well get some ice cream. And that's how I was. I was either kind of totally on it, eating healthy, or totally off it. Mounjaro changed that, and that was the big change for me. The desire to binge eat, gone. The desire to overeat, gone. The thoughts of food, like, gone. I still eat ice cream. I still eat chocolate. I still eat takeaways. I still eat meals out. I still have pints of beer. Not once have I kind of deprived myself of any of that stuff, but I have it in moderation, and I can have a meal out and not then go, well, there's no point eating well when I get home. It's changed that. And that's the big change for me, is the Mounjaro has just changed my relationship with food. So 6 months, I lost just over 5 stone on Mounjaro. It brought me just over my target of losing 10 stone. I'm down 10 stone, 2 pounds, and I am feeling amazing. Alongside that, I've been pushing harder than I ever have in the gym and just getting fit and strong. So that's where I am now. I'm at a place I've never been before. This is an unknown for me, but I do know how good it feels to finally be here, because I suppose in a lot of ways I'd put pressure on myself to get there. Um, it's nice to have that pressure off now, but it brings new challenges. Really does bring new challenges, because I've always been losing weight or gaining weight. This time, I mean, am I at the finish point? I'm pretty close, but I'm not exactly sure exactly where in the scales I want to get, but it wouldn't be much lighter. So for the moment, I'm just like, no, I'm going to keep it steady at this level. I want to actually see if I can keep my weight in a straight line without going up or down, and just see how that goes. So that's just a I suppose, quick 16 years of where I've been, and where I am now. And I'm at a stage now that I'm just ready to keep my wellness, my health, my happiness, to keep on getting better and improving. I've recently reached out to a company called Everwell, who are helping me in this journey, can offer me support. I just want to ensure I can do everything I can to not put this weight back on. And that's really does involve looking at my nutrition, my habits, the mental side of why I put on so much weight, all those things. And that's what Everwell are doing for me now, and that's why I'm so confident of what I'm going to achieve. But I think that's going to be an interesting part of this podcast as well, because I'm now documenting something I've never done before. I've talked a lot about losing weight. I've never talked about keeping my weight steady. So yeah. So we'll update every week. We'll see how it goes, the challenges, the successes, if there's been some slips. Yeah, it's kind of exciting. It really is. Each week on the podcast, I want to look at an article that's been written about weight loss medications or other areas in weight loss. I just think there's a lot of misinformation put out there, a lot of scaremongering, and then a lot of interesting things and kind of sides of weight loss that I would have maybe never thought about before. First article, which I'm going to chat about, is something I saw in Newsweek, actually. It was from the American publication. I just found it really interesting because it's something I would have never kind of thought about. And it is from a restaurant owner in New York. And basically it was an interview asking about, have the surge of people using, Mounjaro, Ozempic, Wegovy, has it impacted the restaurant trade? And the first question that the restaurant owner, called Max Tucci, or Tucci? Tucci, probably, yes. Probably in Italian, Max Tucci. Tucci. Yeah, my Italian accent is absolutely super. And he's the owner of New York's restaurant called Tucci. So, I hope that's how you pronounce it. And the first question that he was asked was, when did you first notice diners ordering less or struggling with full portions? And he came back and said it was, something that he noticed fairly early on of people using these was the amount of food coming back. And he was saying 40% of what the food went out to people in the restaurants came back to be binned. And that was his first kind of went, hold on, things are changing here. People in the past, if they paid for a meal, even if they're full, they would eat it because they're going, well, I've paid for it, I'm going to eat it. And that, he says, has changed since people have been on GLP-1 medications. And he said it's been the past kind of year and a half, he's noticed that. I said that people are not going past the point of being full. So that was like that's a big change, especially, being over in America, how big the portions can be, and which is fair enough. But look, like me, if I was in a restaurant and I was full, it didn't matter. I just keep on going. Like, no, the food on the plate, I'm not stopping until it's gone. And because of the GLP-1 medications, he says that has stopped a lot. 40%. That's a huge amount of the food that's served out is being binned. Then he's asked, did you decide proactively to redesign portions and introduce a mini menu? And he replied with yes. They refer to it as the Ozempic menu. And basically, same food, but just smaller portions. He's saying like there was a meatball dish which he did, which in the past would have had 3 large meatballs with it and pasta. It's now 1 meatball with pasta. So same food, just smaller portions. I suppose in some ways it's nearly like a child's portion. I know, but he got to the point where like there's no point serving food. We don't want to see food going to waste. So we're going to just serve smaller portions. Now, does he charge less for this? He doesn't mention that. I'm presuming he does, but that's not mentioned in the article. And then maybe it gets into this. It says, how do you balance cost, margins, and guest satisfaction with smaller plates? Well, here we go. Here's the answer, I suppose. And he replied, but balancing these factors takes careful planning. We source high quality ingredients so can maintain flavor and presentation while keeping costs in check. Smaller plates not only cut down on food waste, they encourage guests to order more dishes, which enhances their experience and supports profitability. For us, it's about crafting a thoughtful menu that delights guests while making sense for the business. That's interesting. It'd be really like maybe going down the tapas way, that people come in, they won't just order one main meal. They might get 2 or 3 starter size portions, which is a great way to eat, So that's, I just find that really interesting that because of a medication, there's those changes happening. The owner, Max Tucci, was then asked, what has been the customer response? And he replied saying, it has been overwhelmingly positive. Guests come in and actually ask for the Ozempic menu, saying that they love the flexibility of smaller portions. Now, will we see that over in Ireland? I'm not sure we will. I think people will be scared that people will start spending less money. But I'm going to have a look around now and do a bit of research on that, because, here's one restaurant saying that, it's actually helped their business. People are coming in asking for it and ordering more than one main dish. Yes, they're smaller, so obviously smaller prices, but this person seems to be absolutely delighted with it. And then the final question that was asked of Max Tucci was, do you see this as a fad or part of a broader eating trend? And he replies saying, I don't see a Ozempic menu going anywhere. Already 13 to 15 million Americans are using GLP-1 injections. And he says, when the pill hits the market, that could climb to 30 or 40 million. So he's referring to, improvements in these medications. And we've all heard that it won't need to be an injectable, in the not too far future. Yes, I think that could make a big difference. Obviously, price. Once price comes down for these as well, I think you'll see a lot of people on them. And he says this isn't a fad; it's a part of a bigger shift in how people think about portions, health, and enjoying a night out without overindulging. And what I love the most is we are wasting less food at Tucci. It's a win-win. That's interesting, isn't it? I think that's really interesting and something I would have never thought of. And I think restaurants here in Ireland and the UK, wherever, I think that's something they need to look at as well. Because are you less likely to go out and get a meal if you know you're not going to be able to finish it? So if you know you're going to be going out and wasting food? Absolutely. If I had a restaurant nearby that I felt I could go out and get a smaller portion and be charged less, I would be much more likely to go out. Yes, my spend might be less in the restaurant, but I'm actually in the restaurant as opposed to not being there. And maybe I'll go again and again. I think that could be a really smart move by any business that's looking at ways to get more people in, is to offer a smaller size portions, because again, there are so many people on these medications. So just thought that was a really interesting article. Something maybe people haven't kind of thought of that. I hadn't thought of that side, that kind of fallout from people being on these weight loss medications. But yeah, there you go. So I'll do that each week. I'll try and find something that's different, something that isn't being talked about as much. Because I think we're going to see it coming into every part of life now, these medications. Hey Freya, how are you? Thanks a million for joining us. My first guest on my new podcast. I am honored to have you here. How are you doing?
Honored to be here. I'm doing good, thanks. You?
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely brilliant.
Good.
Brilliant. Yeah, I'm actually really excited for this. I'm really
Lots
excited.
to talk about.
Yeah, no, big time. I said, and just how myself and Freya got chatting is through TikTok. Freya has been sharing her journey on TikTok, same as myself. And yeah, I just thought it'd be great to have you on here, because your journey in a lot of ways is similar to mine, but then it's also different from mine as well. But as I've kind of come towards the end of my journey, you're kind of still kind of, you're well into it now.
Yeah. But closer the way through, I reckon.
Okay. Oh, but then you're flying along. So look, I suppose for people who aren't on TikTok and are watching, I suppose, could you give us or give me a little bit of kind of background, kind of like, where did your weight loss journey begin, and what made you decide to start using Mounjaro?
Okay, so I initially started off without Mounjaro. I started my journey without it for 2 weeks, and it was only until the second week I was like, you know what, I am going to do this, because I've had a lot of pressure from family and friends to go on Mounjaro. And it was only when I sort of started the scales going down, my relationship with my son's dad broke down, and that sort of led me to start the weight loss journey. So yeah, I was doing well for a good 2 weeks, and I saw the scales going down, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot. And not because my family and friends wanted me to, but because I wanted to. And I feel like when you do a journey like this, it's you that needs to be ready, not anybody else. And posting it on TikTok it was quite daunting. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's quite scary posting it out for everyone to see. But the support that I've had has just been amazing, and it keeps you on track, it keeps you accountable. That's one of the main reasons I did it, was because if I say I'm gonna do something, if I say I'm gonna do 10K steps and I'm gonna eat in a calorie deficit and talk about the Mounjaro, then I need to stick to that, because that's what the viewers like, and that's what they're following you for.
Yeah, no, it is a big decision to decide to go public. I suppose I've been sharing my weight loss journey since 2009 online, like when social media was just getting going. So I've been at it a while, but it is a big decision because it's out there. But for me, and you kind of mentioned there, is the accountability. I think that's a great part of it. And the support. So
yeah, no, it really, really helps with the comments that they post on there saying well done, and you're doing great. It really, really helps. And the magnitude of getting those sort of compliments and encouragement and support off of strangers, because you don't always know these people, the effect is, you wouldn't think it's as effective as it is, but it really is. It really helps.
Yeah, I totally and utterly agree. Absolutely, I do. And I think, like, the longer you're at it, you'll start to grow kind of a a group of people maybe that are similar kind of journeys, like me and you. Like, we're chatting, we're getting to know each other. I said, because it's just nice to chat to people who are going through the same thing. Yeah.
And then my account is still quite small at the moment, but the little following that I do have, there is like a little group in there that do regularly check in about the 10K steps and the weight loss, and it's nice. It's like a little community.
Big time. No, it's not that small. Yeah, I was checking up your numbers there. No, your account is flying along.
So it depends what they're following me for. Is they're not all following me for the weight loss.
Okay. But I know it is. No, look, you can see that just the interaction and everything is definitely growing. So speaking about the Mounjaro, how has that journey been? Because that's obviously something new that you haven't done in your life before. So how are you finding Mounjaro?
I've done Mounjaro before. So I did it probably 6-7 months prior to this time round, but I didn't do it for the right reasons. Like I said earlier, I did have a lot of pressure from friends and family to lose weight, to go on Mounjaro, or Wegovy at that point. But I did it for them, and I still wasn't working on my relationship with food. I was just eating whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, and it was just a waste of money, waste of time, and it wasn't effective. So I stopped after 4 months, and then yeah, just went back to my old habits. And then it was only until 4 or 5 months ago that I decided to do it again. Yeah, it was.
Okay, that's really interesting. No, like that's really, and look, yeah, absolutely, it doesn't matter what you're doing or anything. If you're not like doing it for yourself, it just doesn't
Exactly.
work.
You need to do it for you, don't you?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I suppose like sometimes the pressure is, I mean, it's maybe coming from as in it is coming from a good place, but at the same
Yeah.
time, yeah, like unless you're ready, yeah, it just,
Yeah, I feel like with any bad habit, you need to be the one ready to change it.
yeah, big time. Absolutely, absolutely. So this time round, you've decided to do it. Tell us how the past few months have been on it then.
I found, to start off with, while your body's adjusting to the medication, I feel that personally for me, the side effects were rough. Like I had really bad migraines, nausea, um, like the suppression was there because that's what a lot of people chase when they're on this medication. It was definitely there, but the migraines and nausea was hard, especially while juggling like work and like looking after your children. It's yeah, it's I think a lot of people have struggled with that, with coping with the side effects. The suppression, I feel it's definitely there, but I think it affects me a lot more psychologically than I anticipated it to. Like the food noise completely gone. I'm not constantly thinking about where my next meal is. I'm not wanting to binge eat because this is how I sort of fell into, or didn't fall into it, but went into, having this bad relationship with food. It was through binge eating and emotional eating. So I would be planning everything around that. As I found once I started taking Mounjaro, it all just went. Like, and my head was sort of clear. I love it. I think Mounjaro is great. It's such a great medication.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hear you, and it's hard to explain to people who haven't been on it, isn't it? Like the
Completely
difference it
agree.
actually makes.
They're
Because
like,
look, I
what?
just,
Food noise?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And like, I mean, I was the same. I for me it was, I'd eat well during the week most of the time, but I would always be thinking about the weekend of what I could have and go, oh, it's
Yeah.
fine. And it was always on my mind. Like it was always there. And
Mhm.
I would binge eat, and I would say to myself, okay, just take it easy. Okay, you can have something. And it didn't
Yeah.
matter what I'd said to myself. It
Yeah.
just,
No, I don't think
yeah,
anybody understands it unless they've been in that situation. I really don't.
yeah.
I think it's almost impossible to try to explain to someone that doesn't understand. They're like, just don't eat it. Like, just don't put it in your mouth. And I'm like, well, if it's that easy, then nobody would be fat.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. I've been very lucky. I've had basically no side effects the entire way through, and I'm all the way up
Well,
to yeah, and I'm on 15 milligrams now. Like I've
none
had
at
none.
all. No headaches or
No,
anything.
the
Wow.
first day I took it, I got a bit of a headache. Like that was
Yeah.
it. Like one headache. So I kind of feel bad saying that
I'm
when you've
jealous.
been struggling with it. So yeah, but no. So it's the only other thing I get is a little bit of heartburn, a bit of indigestion.
Mm,
I get a couple of rennies
yeah, I forgot
sorts that
about
out.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So look,
Yeah, no, I did get that quite bad. But yeah, I feel like now, because what am I on now? I'm on 7. So I do 2 months at a time on the same dose, just because it's a bit more cost effective. You buy the bundle, and I just stay on the same dose for 2 weeks. Whether it's working or not, I just stay on it. But so far, that is working for me. But I do find, 'cause I'm on 7.5 now, that my body does feel kind of used to it now. Like I haven't had migraines in quite some time, and same with the nausea. Sometimes I struggle with my morning coffee, but other than that, it's
okay,
yeah, it's
okay.
it's
Oh,
pretty good.
no, no, that's great. I suppose with the price increase, it's definitely, as in I was lucky. Like I kind of, as in I actually went up every month, but by the time I got to, or almost to 15, that's when the price increase came. So I could kind of
Mm,
pre-order a few months at the 15 and just kind of go from there. But
yeah, I
yeah,
wish I did. Bulk ordered, it would have helped me a lot.
yeah, yeah. But I suppose that kind of brings us into a question I want to ask you, and it's really relevant because there are so many people in the situation that we're about to mention, which is you decided to switch from Manjaro to Wegovy as a result
Mhm.
of the price increase, was it?
Yeah, it was to do with the price increase. So go on.
Yeah, sorry. So my question was, how did that go?
Not well. I didn't last very long. I did a month on it. Um, the first week went well, but I don't know how much of that was psychological and how much that wasn't psychological. Because I was just excited about starting it. I was curious as to how it was going to work and whether my brain was sort of tricking me into thinking it was working. And then the other 3 weeks I found completely useless. I felt like it did absolutely nothing. I found with Mounjaro, it definitely affected me more psychologically. Food noise went, wasn't thinking about food. It would get to like 4 p.m. and I'd be like, "Have I eaten today?" Like, I actually forget to eat, which is isn't normal for me. Whereas with Wegovy, I find that you're still thinking about food. It's the physical suppression that's definitely there. Like once you sit down and you start eating, you can't eat as much as you would normally. However, your brain thinks that you can. Whereas with Manjaro, your brain doesn't think that you can. And that's what helps so much with it. So that was the difference I found, is that Manjaro definitely affects me psychologically more.
Ah, okay, okay, yeah. I think it's really interesting. I think it's as in I get why people would switch. I mean, just with the price increases, but it seems to be I haven't seen many people who have successfully moved to Wegovy and it's
We've
worked.
always gone back.
Yeah, yeah. It looks like most people do. Did you start at the very bottom dose of Wegovy, or did you start a bit higher?
No, so I asked for the equivalent dose of. So I was on. What was I on? I don't remember. I was on 5 milligrams, and I asked for the equivalent of that for Wegovy, which I think is 0.5. Don't quote me on that, but or they at least put one below the equivalent or something like that. But I didn't start at the bottom. So yeah, I just requested for the equivalent dose of the 5 milligrams, and I think they gave it to me.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it is the exact equivalent, but yeah, that's what I asked for, and that's hopefully what they gave me. But yeah, I didn't get on with it, and I switched back. And I think a couple of people have said to me, they've asked me, do you reckon that is just because you're on Manjaro before you're on Wegovy? Do you think had I started Wegovy first, would have had a different experience? And I guess we'll never know, but I do think that could have something to do with it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's I'd say probably could be true for sure. I
Hmm.
mean, if you don't know what you're missing, I suppose
Exactly.
yeah, yeah. Because I mean, Wegovy's isn't it the same as Ozempic? It's the same that it
I
has
think
that
so,
one.
yeah. The
Yeah,
one receptor.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, no, look, which is interesting. I mean, look, I mean, it's really interesting, like the new medications they're talking about and the improvements that are coming. I think all these medications are just going to keep on getting better and better, which is really exciting.
Yeah. Because it is, even though the medication is expensive, it's probably helping the NHS and the cost of the service, like loads of money because of the health problems that it's fixing. Because there's so many health problems linked to obesity and being overweight. So it's,
Uh,
yeah, the
yeah,
more
like,
they make it, the better.
yeah, no, no, it will. I mean, absolutely. I mean, I can feel it myself. Like I'm 10 stone down, and the just the effort to do anything, it's so much easier now. I can feel less of a strain on my body. Like so, that's just yeah. Like
10
it's
stone is a lot. It's a lot of weight to be carrying, for your body to be carrying. So for that to now be gone, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
it's incredible.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, no. So I do see. I mean, I think every government should be rolling this stuff out.
I think so.
Yeah, yeah,
There's
big
quite a
time.
strict criteria on it at the moment, isn't there? You've got to meet a certain number of criterias to get it, and just because you're overweight doesn't mean you're going to meet all those criteria, which is such a shame. Because, like, obviously, you don't wish to be unhealthy or meet these criterias, but had you met these criteria, you'd have it on the NHS. You still got the problem of being overweight, so it's just a shame that the criteria is so strict.
It is. Well, I tell you though, it's better than what it is in Ireland because there is none of it in Ireland. You cannot
Is
get
there
this.
not?
No, no. So, and we would think of the HSE. It's the same idea as the NHS, but it's
Okay.
it's it's not on it presently. So yeah, yeah. But I'm sure that will change. So I've been on Manjaro kind of just over 6 months, and I've noticed a big difference in people's attitude from when I first started taking it. People were always like, "Oh, you're cheating," and it's the lazy way to lose weight, and all this. And I have
Yeah.
noticed a shift in people's attitudes. Is that something you've noticed?
Yes, absolutely. So at the beginning, I think not as many people were using it. And there wasn't, I feel like a lot more people are now talking about it on TikTok. Well, because I only really do it on TikTok, that's all I really see. But a lot more people are talking about it. A lot more people know a lot more people that are doing it. And yeah, I think that obviously I'm still getting comments like, oh, why don't you just not eat it? Why don't you just exercise more? This, that, and the other. And I think if it was that easy, I always say that if it's that easy, nobody would be overweight because I do believe that nobody would choose to have this problem. Like yeah, I do. I think the answer to your question, yes, I do think it has changed and it is more accepted and it's not just seen as an easy or lazy way out, it's seen as a support mechanism.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, look, you'll always get people who like that to say, "Oh, look, just stop eating and do some exercise." It's like, come on, come on. I
It's so
mean,
yeah, it's not as black and
yes,
white as that.
no, no, not at all. It's like it's not as
No.
if they've cracked some code. It's like, what?
Yeah,
Are you serious? I never even thought
I
of
know.
that.
It's not that we don't know how to do it, it's actually doing it. That's the issue.
Yeah, yeah, and also, like, I mean, because I know you're always very conscious about the steps you're taking and all that. So, I mean, I'm
Mm,
sure it's most definitely not the lazy age. I mean, I know I'm doing more
yeah.
exercise than ever since being on it, so it's not lazy, and I know it's probably the same for you. Yeah,
Yeah, no, it definitely helps. Like, yes, it is about what you're putting into your body. I'm sure I've heard before that it's like 30% exercise, 70% diet, and ultimately you could be sat on your bum doing nothing. As long as you're in a calorie deficit, you will lose weight. That's always been my understanding of it. But obviously, moving your body, exercising, it will always aid weight loss and make you feel good, and especially weight training that also burns fat and it's great for you. So there is always that argument, but I always say the more you move and the less you eat, the faster it will come off. It's science, isn't it? So
yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
yeah.
definitely, definitely. I know. For me, I I think it's only like I think exercise might make 5% difference on the scales for me.
Okay.
I think because when I train, I get more hungry, so I eat more, and like that's definite. So I don't actually, for me, find it makes a massive difference. But I feel so much better, and I think I'm less likely to maybe
Yeah.
ruin the gym session, or
Mhm.
ruin having been out for a big walk.
Yeah.
So I think there's that side to it as
Releases
well.
all those happy endorphins, doesn't it? It's good.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Absolutely. So you're saying that you're about a quarter of the way into your journey.
I think so. Yeah. Maybe I'm just under halfway, maybe because what am I now? I'm 16 stone 12, 13, I think. I'm around that mark. I ideally want to get down to like anywhere between 10 and 12 stones. I don't know what my body's going to look like at this point. At that point, sorry. And with weight training, I'm not sure how low I want to go. I have said to myself that I want to make a buffer for when I do come off, because I don't want to stay on Mounjaro forever. So losing that extra stone is just going to sort of be a buffer for when I do come off of it, because it is, research. The little research that is on Mounjaro has shown that you do put on a percentage of what you lose when you do come off of it.
Yeah.
So I've still got a good way to go. I've got at least 4, 5 stone to still lose. So yeah, and I'm 3 stone down now. So
Yeah,
yeah,
which is amazing, which is amazing. And look, yeah, I mean, it is very much an unknown, and that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm kind of like, okay, so what's the plan, and that like that. Again, I'm still not totally sure of what weight I want to get to. I'm not far off the weight I think I want to stay at. But I'm starting then to go, okay, like you just said, I don't want to stay in Manjaro forever. Some people are saying, oh yeah, I'll stay in it forever. I'm like, no, I mean, there's a
would
few
you not
reasons.
try microdosing, like microdosing and maintenance, just to sort of heal, heal you over, like to keep going?
Yeah, yeah. I just I'm not sure yet because I'm not at that level or stage yet. I think I'll stay on Manjaro as on the max dose which I'm on now
Mhm.
until December, maybe January, and then I'm actually working kind of with a service now who know that's my plan to come off, so they're gonna help me with that process again
Okay.
because I just don't want to done all this and then put it all back on like I really don't want to. But I
No.
think at the moment, now this could change, but at the moment, I think I will just stop. I will just
Yeah.
stop it and just move on. I think if I started doing like spreading out the doses, or if I started
Well.
reducing, I think, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm not sure that would work for me kind of mentally.
Right. Because a question that's always asked me is how will I manage when I do come off of it? And I've always thought that the life that I live after losing weight would be so good, and I would feel so good about it, that that would be enough to stop me sort of falling back into old habits. So obviously, haven't been that low on the scales before, haven't got to that point. From your perspective, being in the position that you're in now, where you've lost that much and probably your life's changed significantly since losing that much, do you feel that that could be enough to potentially keep your habits in check?
Yeah, that's a good
I
point,
don't know,
Freya.
like, is it enough? Because I'm always wondering, like, is that going to be enough?
Well, yeah, I think it's interesting because I've never maintained weight. I've either been losing
Hmm.
weight or I've been putting on weight.
Right. Okay.
That's it. I've never just stayed. And I'm actually going to do a little a check in tomorrow. It's 3 weeks since I hit the 10 stone down. I'm going to do a check in tomorrow and see. But I'm pretty sure I'm holding my weight steady at the moment,
This
and
is
I'm kind of
quite a
happy.
pivotal point for you then.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
it's kind of it's nice that I can go, okay, okay, yes, I'm happy with the weight I'm at now. I mean, maybe knock off another few pounds, but pretty much happy. So now I can like really kind of track and look what I'm doing, and actually just okay, if I have a week where I go up a pound or two, well, that's okay. I'm going to work
Yep.
and get it back down, and just not let it get out of hand where oh suddenly I'm 2 stone heavier. And I do think that will make it easier because I honestly, Frey, like I feel so good, and it's just it was only it was the last kind of stone and a half where I started to just like oh my god, this is I
You've made it.
yeah, but just like how good I feel, like fitting into all these clothes and I
Yeah, it
just,
must have been
yeah,
amazing because you get
I'm just,
little bits as like you're going through your journey, you get little bits of that, don't you? So to get to the finish line, it must feel so good, so good.
it is. No, it is. And look, yeah, look, that's all ahead of you. That's all ahead of you. So yeah, yeah, no, it is. So look, Freya, I think Emma really enjoyed that chat. Emma really, really, really did. And thank you so much for coming on. Like, I
You're very
massively
welcome.
appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
No, no, because I said I think you're at a stage that a lot of people are at, and just your positivity and, and also those little hurdles. I mean, moving to Mogovi and then also having done with, Mounjaro at the
Yeah,
start.
it was hard.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're hurdles I didn't have to face, but it's
Yeah,
hurdles that other people do.
yeah.
So I
No,
think it's
it's
important to share.
yeah, definitely,
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, sure, we'll stay in touch on
absolutely.
TikTok. We'll I'll keep an eye on your journey. Yeah. So look, thanks a million.
Cool.
Okay, Freya, thank you so much.
No worries. I'll catch you later, Mark.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. For the last part of this podcast, I want to then look at a social media post, be it a video or just a picture, text by somebody talking about weight loss in general. It doesn't have to be anything to do with weight loss medications, but just something in the field of weight loss that I find interesting, be it negatively interesting or positively interesting. And the first one I'm going to talk about is an account called Train Bloom, a really good account, really educational, just Train Bloom, all one word, on Instagram. And it's a video talking about calories and the importance they are in, I suppose, a weight loss journey. I found this a really interesting way of looking at it. It takes about a minute, I think, the video. So I'm just gonna play the audio here, and then I'll just have a quick chat about it because I think this is a really interesting. Listen. If you start running 1 mile every day, it might burn 200 calories at first and will probably suck because you're not good at it yet. But your body's pretty smart. And if you keep running that same mile every day, your body adapts, gets better and more efficient at what it's doing. Meaning over time, you'll need less and less energy to do the same job, burning fewer and fewer calories. And that's a good thing. Like, that is the goal of working out, to make your body better at what it's doing. But that does mean if you want to keep burning that same 200 calories, you have to keep doing more.
further, faster, adding hills or a weighted vest. The problem with this is eventually you reach a limit and you can't do more, leading to a plateau if you were counting on those calories. This is why the point of working out isn't to burn calories. It's to get stronger, build muscle, and raise your performance. Muscle elevates your baseline metabolism, burning calories 24 hours a day, not just when you're in the gym, like cardio. Cardio is great, and you should still do it. It's just more for your heart and endurance, and less for the calories.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, doesn't it? Exercise really isn't about burning calories. And I suppose that's something which I've started to realize now as well. I can push myself as hard as I want in the gym. It makes very little difference on the scales. It really does. But I love exercising. I feel so good afterwards. I also think a big part of it is I'm much less likely to go and maybe blow a tough training session by eating excess calories that I don't need, for sure. But I think it was an interesting video, you know, to actually put it out there to make it clear that your body gets used to exercise, and yes, you'll keep on pushing yourself, but like that, there's only so much you can push yourself. And some people say, that it's 70% diet, 30% exercise. I don't think so. I think it's 95% down to what you eat and 5% exercise, maybe even less. But I would never say to somebody, do not exercise, because there's so many other benefits. But on the scales, I don't believe there is. Maybe at the beginning, and that's kind of what that video touches on as well. Maybe the beginning, it might help you, but after a while of you exercising and pushing yourself on the scales, it's not going to make a huge amount of difference. There's a million other benefits from it. We all know that. Especially if you are on a weight loss medication, resistance training is vital. You want to keep your muscle levels as high as you can. The same as any diet. I mean, if you're on a crash diet and you're under eating your calories, you will lose muscle. You'll lose fat, but you will lose muscle. Keeping your protein levels high and doing resistance training will minimize that. That's what I've certainly done. I mean, that's why I'm in the gym so much. I didn't want to, I suppose, just become a skinnier version of a bigger version of me, if that makes sense. I wanted to get fit hand in hand with it. And I do think it is really important for people to do that. And I think you're less likely to go back to old ways if you start making those lifestyle habits, those lifestyle changes to your habits. I think you're much more likely to keep this going. So again, that's something which I'll do each week, is to look at a video which I agree with, one which maybe I don't agree with. Again, I just think it's an interesting thing to look at. I think there's so much good information out there. There's so much bad information out there, and it's good to highlight both, I do believe. So that's the end of the first episode. I've enjoyed doing it. I think it's important to talk. I think the more we talk, I think the more people can maybe understand their own weight loss journeys. They can understand maybe why things aren't working as well, or if things are working great, to be able to see that and kind of understand why. So that's what we'll keep on doing. I'm going to get guests on each week. I'm going to hopefully chat to, I said, people who are on journeys themselves. I think that's really important. I think for me, I always want to hear from people who know what it means to lose weight, like how tough it can be. I mean, that's what we saw chatting to Freya. A lot of people don't get it when people have put on a lot of weight. I mean, that's why I think it's important to talk to those people. I really do. Also to chat to, and I'm hopeful that I can get on some professionals, in whatever field it is. But I said, mostly will be down to people who are on journeys similar to what I've been on. And whilst we're doing that, to maybe grow our education in the area. So thank you for listening. I really do appreciate it. I really, really do. And this is going to be a weekly podcast for the next, well, let's see. But it's something I enjoy doing. So I will do it until that isn't the case, I suppose. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next week. Cheers. Bye.